Hello there. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. Today is a recovery focused sequence that's about the upper body. So perhaps you've done quite a strong upper body workout, or if you're just really looking to release the upper body, this is going to be a great practice. If you have two blocks, we're going to start with them. You could also use a bolster, or if you don't have blocks, you can just lie down on your back. That's completely fine. We're really just going to use it for the first pose. Just to set ourselves up. So we're going to set one block sideways like that, and then the other block lengthways. And so we're making a bit of a T shape. It might just take you a little while to find this position. If you come down into it and it's just really uncomfortable, you could also go sideways with your block. So that'll be more just across your upper back, whereas this is going to be along the upper spine. Okay, so let's find our position. You want to be a little bit away from the block, so not too close so the lower back can still be long. Place the feet flat onto the mat and then start to lie yourself back. It's about the middle part of the spine. Line the block up with your spine, and then just adjust this top block so your head can rest down onto it. And then we're going to relax the arms down by your side, and you might need to just have a little wriggle around. Make sure that you feel as comfortable as you can. So there's definitely some strong sensations, but you don't want to feel like you can't breathe or anything like that. So make sure that it feels like it's supporting opening of the chest and the upper body. Soles of the feet come together. So we're coming into our butterfly legs, letting the knees drop open. Arms down by your side. Once you've settled into the pose, closing down the eyes. Just allowing the shoulder heads to drop open and down towards the ground. Palms are facing up. And gently start to extend into your breathing. With the block underneath the upper back along the spine, just bringing that extra awareness to that part of the body. It's noticing if there's any more expansion that can happen, particularly as you take your inhale. And as you exhale, just allowing those shoulder heads to drop down. Allow the head to relax down onto the block underneath you. Muscles of the face soft. Jaw is released. Another 5 full breaths here. Gently following the breath in and the breath out. Softening on the exhale. And then starting to open up the eyes. Placing the forearms down, palms facing down, and gently starting to make your way up, lifting your head up, using your hands just to come off your block or blocks. And we're going to pop the blocks off to the side. So just popping them out of the way. And then make your way back down onto your back. Knees bent, feet hip distance apart and parallel, and arms down by your side. So we're coming into this constructive rest position. And just allow the upper bodies to relax back down to the mat, finding that neutral position. And then crossing the arms over the body as if you're giving yourself a big cuddle. And we're going to circle the arms up above the head. So letting the arms come all the way up and then circling the arms down by your hips and crossing the arms over the body and then circling them up and opening the arms out. Just keep the breath just nice and open here. I like to inhale as I'm opening the arms out and then exhale as I bring the arms back down. Just do what feels good for you. Noticing if you can alternate the way that you're crossing the arms over. So sometimes it's the right arm on top and then sometimes it's the left arm on top. And you might notice that it feels a little bit different depending on which arm you've got on top. Now take the arms down by your hips and then we're going to reverse the circle. So take the arms up, crossing the arms over as they come over the face, and then release the arms. Circle the arms up, crossing them over and releasing them down. This again, just being mindful of crossing one arm and then the other. So we're just swapping it around. Bringing that mobility into the shoulders. Just last one here, and then circle the arms up above the head, hook the thumbs, butterfly fingers, so palms are facing up towards the ceiling, reaching the fingertips back behind you. This is too strong for you for any reason, you can take the arms a little bit further up. Otherwise, keep reaching those fingers back, long through both sides of the waist, and then extend the legs long. So feet come together. Imagine you're standing in Tadasana, inner edges of the feet pressing down, lower ribs draw in towards the mat. Then cross the right foot over the left and then take the legs over to the left-hand side and then lift the upper body off and go over to your left as well. So we're making a crescent moon shape with the body. Try to relax the back surface of the back, particularly the lower back, just to relax back down. And then turn the head to look over the right shoulder. So just opening up through that right side body into the upper arm. Keep that both feet flex, reach that right heel away. Open breathing. And then coming back to center, release the arms down, bring the feet flat onto the mat. So we'll just reset the body back to the center and then circle the arms back up above the head, hooking the thumbs, butterfly grip once again. Reach the fingertips back, lower ribs in, extend both feet long, flex through the feet. Imagine you're standing in your Tadasana. Cross that left foot over the right now and then carry the legs over to the right and then lift the upper body off over to the right as well. So making a crescent moon shape with the left side of the body now. That the back starts to relax back down towards the mat if it's lifting off and then turning the head to look over towards the left. Opening up that left side waist. Keep flexing that left foot, reach that left heel out. And then let's release that. Come back to center. Release the legs, feet flat onto the mat. Just reset the body back to the middle. Knees in towards the chest, hands behind the thighs, rocking yourself up to a seated position or roll to one side, whatever feels appropriate. And then let's straighten the legs out, flex through the feet, Arms down by your side. Take the arms up. Take an inhale. Exhale. Starting to fold forward over the legs. And then we're going to sweep the hands down the mat, about a forearm's distance behind you, fingers pointing forward. Bend through the knees, feet flat onto the mat, and lift the hips up. And you might be able to relax the head back. And then we're going to bring the head back up. Hips down. Extend the legs long. Flex through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. Sweep the hands back, about a forearm's distance behind you. Bend through the knees. Lift the hips up, maybe letting the head relax back. And then bringing the head back up. Lower the hips down. One more time like that. Straighten the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep the hands back. Forearms distance behind you, fingers pointing forward. Bend the knees and then lifting the hips up. Now hold it here and keep the head looking slightly forward now. What we're going to do is we're going to start to shift the hips forward towards the heels and then shift it back. Shifting the hips forward towards the heels and then shift it back. And you can let the hips drop down a little bit, and you can even bend those elbows a bit. Just feeling that sensation across the front of the shoulders there, just deepening a little bit into that. And then come back upright and then turn the fingers to point to the sides of the mat. And I'm naturally already starting to rock a little bit from side to side, and you just want to go with that. Just a little bit of a rock from side to side. Try not to let the shoulders be up by the ears, so you're still quite active through the arms. And then let's come back to center. Turn the fingers to point back towards the heels, and then we're going to lift the hips up one more time. Press down through the feet, and maybe if you feel comfortable, letting the head relax back. For 3, 2, 1. Lift the head back up, lower the hips back down, and extend the legs out long. Flexing through the feet. Let's take the hands, interlace the fingers, and take a figure 8 with the hands, just to release out the wrists. And then release the hands down, take the hands back behind you. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Start to draw the tips of the shoulders back. And then this might be heaps for you. You can just stay here. If you'd like to, you're going to start to straighten those arms a little bit. And just see where you can get to. Trying to lift those arms a bit further away from the back. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to start to come forward over the legs. Let's see where you get to and just hold it here. If it's available, we're going to try to lift those arms away from the back. Keep breathing. And then take an inhale, coming back upright and releasing those arms. Cross the legs, make your way back into your down facing dog. Let's take a moment in your down facing dog here. Back of the neck is relaxed. Steady gaze with the eyes. Now starting to shift the weight into the left hand, we're going to release this right hand a little bit. You might just bring it in a little bit closer towards you, but if you can, I'm going to try to hold the outside of that left shin or the outside of that left ankle and start to turn the shoulders to the left. Looking under that left arm. Keep breathing. And then gently release that right hand back. Take a breath with both hands down for a moment. And then start to shift that weight into that right hand, ground down through the feet. Start to release that left hand, maybe to the center, and starting to walk it back, maybe outside of that right shin
or down towards the outside of that right ankle, and then turning the shoulders towards the right. Last breath. And then let's release that left hand back. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend through those knees and let the head relax down. Soften through the knees even more to take a spine roll to come up to standing. Sweep the arms out to the side. Take the arms up above the head, inhaling. And then as you exhale, take the arms back behind you, interlacing the fingers behind the back. Once again, you're going to draw the tips of the shoulders away from the front, and then maybe starting to draw those hands back down behind you. Take an inhale, lift the chest up, and then exhale. Feel free to bend the knees. We're going to fold down into our Uttanasana. I'll let the head relax. And everyone, let's all just keep the knees slightly bent rather than locking them out for now. I'm trying to lift the arms away from the back. Back of the neck is relaxed and not holding the head up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to start to straighten this left leg and bend into this right knee. So take a twist to the left with your shoulders, and the arms are going to go slightly to the right. And then inhale, come through center, both knees slightly bent, and then bend into that left leg, straighten into that right leg as you twist to the right with the shoulders, looking slightly to the right as well, as the arms go a little bit more over to the left. And then inhale, back to center, bend through both knees, gently release the hands all the way down, and just let the arms be really relaxed for a moment. And then walking the hands back out into your down facing dog, just for a moment. And then come down onto your knees, release the tops of the feet down. Walk your hands away from you, so nice and long, and we're going in for a happy puppy. So if possible here, going for your chin down. If not, pop your forehead down, maybe moving onto your chin as we stay in the pose for a little bit longer. Thinking about the chest relaxing down towards the mat, but at the same time, those armpits are wrapping in and down towards the mat. Open breathing. And then shift the weight slightly forward. Bring your hands back underneath the shoulders. Let's bring the knees together and go into our child's pose. If it's uncomfortable with the knees together, just separate them, that's fine. If you can, let's take those arms back behind you. Let the forehead come down. Just letting the upper body just concave there. Closing down the eyes. And then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, come up to a seated position and sitting over to one side. And then let's extend those legs out long. I'll just turn to face you. We're going to come into a cross-legged position. Whichever leg in front is fine. Both sitting bones down on the ground. And then just let the arms relax down for a moment, long through the spine. And then we'll take the back of the right hand and place it, I'm going to be mirroring you, so opposite to you. So you'll do your right arm, back of that right hand to the side of the waist, and then using your left hand to try to bring that elbow towards the midline. And try not to pull that shoulder forward. So both shoulders keep pointing forward, long through both sides of the waist.
Just mindful breathing here, and just noticing that sensation in the body. So we've worked across the front of that shoulder and upper arm, and we're just working a little bit more into that back part of the upper arm. And then gently releasing that out, and let's go to the other side. So taking the back of the left hand and then starting to bring that left shoulder a little bit more into the midline of the body, trying to keep both shoulders facing forward. And listening in for any space that allows you to maybe bring the elbow a little bit more towards the midline. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. And then let's release that. Take your left leg out to the side. So we're going to come into our Janushirshasana legs and bringing that right heel in towards the groin, both sitting bones down onto the ground. And use your hands behind you just to lengthen up out of the lower back, taking an inhale. As you exhale, taking a twist to your right. And then from here, we're going to lay the left side of the body over that left leg. So we're going to come over this big side stretch. You might stay up high. Don't worry about coming too low if that doesn't feel good for you. Otherwise, if you can, you're going to come a little bit further down. If it's possible, you might even place that left forearm down, and take hold of the inside of the foot. And then bringing that right arm up and over, pressing down through that right sitting bone, maybe turning the eyes to look up towards the ceiling. And then option here to wrap this top arm behind the back, reaching for the inside of that left thigh. And we're going to turn the head down to look towards that left leg. And if you want an extra action here, draw the tip of the right shoulder away from the right ear. So we're going to open up through that right side of the neck as well. And then turn the head back to center. Release that top arm back over for one breath. And then on the next inhale, coming back upright. And let's swap it around. Bring the left leg in, taking that right leg out to the side. Hands behind you, taking an inhale to lift up. As you exhale, twisting to the left, turning the head to look over to the left slightly as well. And then starting to lay that right side of the body down towards that right leg. Either maybe just sliding the hand down the leg, or if you can, placing that right forearm down, holding the inside of that right foot, really ground down through that left sitting bone as much as you can, and then take that left arm up and over and turn the head to look up towards the ceiling. Energetically grounding down through that left sitting bone. And then wrapping, this is an option to wrap that top arm behind the back, reaching for the inside of that right thigh, and then turning the head to look down towards that right leg. And remembering, if you want an extra action here, drawing the tip of that left shoulder away from the left ear. So we're opening up through the left side of the neck as well. And return the head back to center. Release that back arm, taking it all the way over. One full breath here. And then on the next inhale, coming back
upright, bringing that right leg back. Let's take both legs long and make your way down onto your back. Bending the knees up, feet flat onto the mat. Just take a moment, just let the upper back rest down onto the mat. And then bring the legs in towards the chest, give the legs a little bit of a squeeze in. And then we're going to start to straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. So coming into our Supta Dandasana here. This might be plenty for you, you can just stay here. If you can, start to walk the hands up the legs a little bit, and you want to try to bring the legs in towards you. And then some of you can hold onto the ankles or maybe even the big toes. So we're starting to come into our Supta Paschimottanasana here. So it's a lying forward fold. And then if you've got hold of your ankles or your big toes, as you exhale, try to bring the legs in towards you, but at the same time, press back down through the back of the pelvis. Relax the shoulder heads down. Just using your breathing, try to soften. Just last 2 breaths. And then let's gently release that, bending the knees, placing the feet down, lifting the hips up just to reset the pelvis here. Then place the hips back down and let's extend the legs out long. Let the feet fall away from one another, arms away from the sides of the body, palms facing up, closing down your eyes. Just allowing the body to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer with each exhale. Just very lightly observing the breathing. Just coming to complete rest just for the next few minutes. So feeling free to stay here for as long as you would like to. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. Namaste.